The Journey to the West is one of the 4 classic Chinese novels influencing people across multiple centuries. However, it's quite difficult to follow for those that don't have a solid cultural background. So in this series, we'll combine the original novel, the English translated version, the 1986 TV series, and the video game Black Myth Wukong to give you the best understanding of the entire story. Without further ado, let's go back to where the story begins. A stone. Many years ago, there was a stone on a mountain, absorbing the essences of the sun and the moon, collecting the energy of the heaven and the earth. One day, the stone turned into a stone egg, and the stone egg transformed into a stone monkey. It was said that this monkey also bowed to the 4 quarters. Was he so clever and polite that he was able to greet the world? Well, it's actually an idiom to describe a newborn animal was too weak and could barely stand. It kept falling on the ground, which looks like bowing toward different direction, hence it was called bowed to the 4 quarters. It was also said that 2 beams of golden light flashed from his eyes to reach the celestial palace. It so powerful and even disturbed the Jade Emperor, the ruler of the world. He commanded 2 famous gods, Thousand-Mile Eye and Fairwind Ear, to observe what happened. Wait a second. If the monkey was born with laser eyes, then why we never saw him use it to attack the enemy? Did he just forget about this lethal weapon? The answer is, he can't. There's a concept in Taoism that a newborn baby is closest to Tiandao, which is the sky's way, the flow of nature. Baby is the most pure and innocent being in the world, but when people grew up, they got contaminated by the mortal world, so they lost their shines. As the stone had been absorbing essence since the creation of the world, then of course it had stored a tremendous amount of energy. Thousand-Mile Eye reported that it was just a local spirit. Now that he is taking some food and drink, the light is about to grow dim. As the stone monkey consumed some mortal food, its newborn energy quickly fades away. Hearing that, the Jade Emperor showed mercy. These creatures from the world below are born of the essences of heaven and earth, and they need not surprise us. Bro, you had no idea what trouble you've got. So the stone monkey grew up happily with the normal monkeys. One day they found a great waterfall, and one suggested that, if any of us is able to find out where the water comes from without hurting himself, he will be honored as king. However, no one dared to jump into the waterfall. The only one who was brave enough was the stone monkey. He was surprised by what he saw. Such a beautiful place with all the necessities, pans, shoves, seats, bedspots, bowls, a perfect shelter for the monkeys to live. There's a stone tablet stated, "The blessed land of Flower Fruit Mountain, the cave heaven of Water Curtain Cave." This place was called Huaguo Shan, and Shan means mountain, which is Mount Huaguo in Chapter 6 of Black Myth Wukong. So he went back and brings all the monkeys in. With such honorable achievement, he officially became the handsome monkey king. They live happily for 300 years. Although the stone monkey was a spirit and could live so much longer, he still had to witness the deaths of many of his friends. One day, during a feast while all the monkeys were dancing and playing, the Monkey King suddenly cried. Other monkeys were confused. We are literally living in a dream right now, dancing every day, party every day without any worries. Why are you sad, King? The answer truly differentiated the king from everyone else. He was concerning about the future. Yes, we might be living freely now, but one day all of us will die, inevitably. How sad is that? Hearing that, all monkeys cried together. Luckily, the world hasn't ended yet. A monkey told the king that all living creatures are subject to death, except 3 kinds: the Buddhas, the immortals, and the holy sages. It gave the Monkey King hope, so he decided to leave the mountain to seek immortality. Not just for himself, but for his people. The following day, with a raft made of pine wood, a bamboo as a pole, and some fruits, he drifted straight towards the ocean, and now his journey to the west begins. But wait a minute, where should he go? This world consists of 4 continents: the East Continent, Purva-Videha, the South Continent, Jambudvapa, the West Continent, Aparagodanya, and the North Continent, Uttarakuru. Their names came from the Buddhist cosmology. Beyond the ocean of the East Continent, there was a country named Aolai, and near the country there was a mountain named Huaguo Shan, where this tiny little raft set sail. Luckily, a strong southeast wind sent him to the northwestern coast of the South Continent. He finally stepped into the human society, so the first thing he did was to learn human language and proper manner. However, he just could not find what he wanted. The poem said, "The struggle for fame and fortune never ends. Waking up early and sleeping late is the loss of freedom. The mortals only care about wealth and fame. They had nothing to do with immortality." So after spending 8 to 9 years in the South Continent, the Monkey King once again built a raft and drifted to the West Continent. After searching for a long time, he met a woodcutter who claimed to be a neighbor of an immortal. The Monkey King was very confused. "Why don't you pursue immortality then?" The woodcutter said there's something more important than his life. As his father died early, his mother raised him alone and sacrificed a lot. Now that his mother is old, he would take care of her for the rest of his life. So he had no time to practice immortality. Well, that's a normal concern for the ordinary people. In order to pursue immortality, they have to abandon everything they had: their love, their parents, their children, their friends, and most people wouldn't be able to do so. But that's not a problem for the Monkey King. He had no parents, he only got the mother of nature. So with the guide of the woodcutter, the Monkey King finally arrived at the place where the immortal lives: the mountain of mind and heart, the cave of slanting moon and 3 stars. He had spent the entire decade for this opportunity. Once he knocks the door, his life will be completely changed. At this critical moment, he got nervous. Yes, you heard that right. It was said that he stared at the place for a long time but dared not knock. Instead, he jumped onto the branch of a pine tree, picked a few pine seeds and ate them, and began to play. He really needed some mental preparation. At the same time, the door was opened. A child came out and said that his master asked him to welcome a guest. In the middle of the stage, he finally met Patriarch Subodhi. Who is he and what makes him so special? We will talk about him deeply in the next episode, and now let's focus on the monkey first. The Monkey King immediately bowed and kept kowtowing. "Master! Master! I, your pupil, pay you my sincere homage," showing how eager he was to learn. Meanwhile, Subodhi was calm and nonchalant. "Where do you come from?" he asked. The monkey said he came from Huago Shan in the Aolai country of the East Continent. Subodhi was angry. "Liar! How could a monkey cross 2 great oceans and the entire South Continent to get here? That's not possible. Kick him out!" The monkey politely replied that he traveled for almost 10 years to find this place. He was not lying. All right, Subodhi accepted that. He then asked, "What's your name?" And the monkey's answer was very interesting. The master asked for his Scene surname, but the monkey said he had no Scene temper. "If a man rebukes me, I am not offended. If he hits me, I am not angered. My whole life's without ill temper." These 2 words share the same pronunciation, so the master repeated the question, asking for the name. The monkey said he has no parents. He was born from a stone. When the master heard this, he was secretly pleased. In Chinese culture, someone plain like a white paper is a perfect student because they have the highest potential. They are more flexible, with no fixed beliefs in their mind. More importantly, the monkey was born by nature, which means he does not belong to any party or organization, making him a good candidate. Did the monkey really misunderstand the question? We never know. Intentional or not, he successfully promoted himself. The master then asked him to turn around. Nice. This is indeed natural creation. Awesome. The master laughed and said, "Although your body is ugly, you do resemble a pine nuts eating monkey, Hu-sun." Wow. Thanks, master. Hu-sun, dropping the animal radicals, they are Hu and Sun. Hu consists of Gu and Yue, which means old and female. That's an aged woman. Sun consists of Z and Ji, which means son and baby. That's a baby boy. Remember we talked about being a baby is the ideal form? Then of course the master chose Sun. There were 12 characters to name the pupils. The monkey belongs to the 10th generation, Wu.
你就姓孙，法名悟空，好吗？
师傅。
The Monkey King was very happy about that. From now on, he is Sun Wukong. Wukong, wake to the void, or I would call it perceiving emptiness. Kong is a concept in Buddhism. It does not simply imply the lack of substance, rather it refers to a state of thought and a level of wisdom. Instead of nothingness, Kong is more like openness, though that's still not very accurate. All things are empty of intrinsic existence and nature. Achieving such a philosophical level requires significant inner strength and practice, which of course I am not at that level yet, so we won't dive too deep into this topic. After Sun Wukong got his name, he is now ready for the ultimate training for immortality. So what are the challenges waiting for him? How did he become one of the strongest warrior in the world? Well, we'll find out in the next episode. But before we end, as this is the first episode, let me briefly explain why this is called the Black or White series. As Black Myth Wukong became so popular, the dark interpretation went viral. Gods are evil, selfish. They exploit the mortals and seize all the resources. Well, technically that's true, but that's just one side of the story. In fact, the journey to the West is traditionally known as a white myth. It's also about life lessons. The core of the story is more complex and worth more time to explore. Of course, it might be more exciting to only introduce the dark side, but as one of the few content creators, I guess, to introduce the entire novel in detail to the Western audience, I kind of feel like it's a responsibility to show the more complete version of it. Therefore, although I would focus on the Black Myth, I will also try to cover different points of views. So what are the secret messages hidden in Chapter 1? First of all, did you ever wonder, why was such a unique stone on a unique mountain? It was said that on the stone were also 9 perforations and 8 holes, which corresponded to the palaces of the 9 constellations and the 8 trigrams. It is very important because the Jade Emperor once said that all the beings of the 3 realms that possessed the 9 apertures could attain immortality. The 9 apertures are the eyes, the ears, the noses, the mouth, and the 2 holes at the bottom. So this stone is meant to be a spirit. Besides, there was no tree on the top of the mountain, which means the stone could fully absorb all the essence. And this is not a normal mountain. It constituted the chief range of the 10 islets and formed the origin of the 3 islands. Many mythical creatures lives there. This beautiful mountain should already be occupied by a high immortal, right? And it seemed like it was. When Wukong jumped into the waterfall, he saw pans and stoves near the wall show traces of fire. Bottles and cups on the table contain leftovers. Someone just left the cave and never showed up again. What's also weird was that every time when the monkey set sail, he always drifted to the right place, but not dead in the ocean. Was someone helping him? There must be someone who placed the stone, right? The Jade Emperor, Patriarch Subodhi, or the Buddha? Well, actually, all of these coincidences can be explained. The answer is in the poems. The first poem said, "To know cyclic time's work, if that's your quest, read Tale of Woes Dispelled on Journey West." The journey to the West was originally called Tale of Woes Dispelled on Journey West. It was meant to ease your suffering and teach you a valuable lesson. When the stone monkey became Monkey King, the poem said, "Changed from egg to ape to reach the great way. Loan name and surname matched elixir made." The stone was placed by the most powerful person in the story, the author. He used this egg as a tool to show us the way and used the name Wukong to help us understand emptiness. The place where Wukong learned the way was called Cave of Slanting Moon and 3 Stars. It referred to the word heart in Chinese, which consists of 1 stroke and 3 dots. The only place you could obtain the way is in your heart, your mind. Throughout the chapters, Wukong is often called the Mind Monkey. He is the representation of our heart. When he was born, he was just an innocent child. He was brave enough to jump into the waterfall just to be a king. He was determined and drifted to ocean as soon as he got a plan. He was clever enough to be the best disciple of Subodhi. He was kind-hearted. The biggest goal of his life started from a simple initiative. He wants everyone to live happily forever. However, when he got stronger, everything changed. His bravery turned to recklessness. He became stubborn and wouldn't listen to anyone else. Through the rest of the journey, he was gradually changing in different stages. The mistakes he made was common for people to make. The pain he gone through is everyone's pain. What this book really wants to show us is the way to deal with obstacles and challenges in our lives, how to truly live a happy and satisfied life, to reach the harmony that we all desire. As most people hate boring lessons, the novel packed it in such an exciting adventure. The story is so interesting that I could not stop reading, but the more I read it and think about it, the more I got impressed by its wisdom. So I would also like to bring it to the foreign audience to feel the charm of this wonderful literature. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.